Hello, this is Natasha Astara, and I'm founder of Earth Mother Star Child. And this podcast today is about womb clearing. We have just come, well, this is the Sunday after the 11/11/11 Stargate, Star Portal that we had last Sunday, which was also Remembrance Sunday in the United Kingdom, and I think for most of the world. I keep forgetting that we're all globally connected now. So it was a big time for lots of the world because we've been clearing the star grids and the grids on Earth. We're upgrading to the fifth dimension, and this is happening. It's happening. We're seeing it. We are shifting. We are experiencing the time shifts and the collapsing of timelines and various shifts within our bodies as we're splitting from the third dimension into the fifth dimension. So it's all very exciting. But this week has been a very interesting one. I've noticed it on a lot of people's energy fields that it's been a difficult week. We are in autumn in the UK, which is the time connected to the metal element in Chinese medicine, which is my training. And the metal element is a lot about grief and letting go. So we've been letting go of a lot. And this time of year, which is also around Halloween, Samhain in the pagan calendar, we're putting the ancestors to rest. We're often thanking them for the work they've done and putting them to rest, which is what we've also seen in Remembrance Sunday. So the reason I'm leading into this is because personally I've had a week where there's been a lot of past life recall and a lot of intensity of clearing old patterns again. We are in another shift of clearing old patterns. And what you'll find is we'll see that if you have a big stargate happening or a big moon or anything where the energy is shifted in and we get more light coming in and more high frequency energy, it begins to push out what is dense and what we don't need anymore, which can feel like, oh, I'm having a great time, and then, oh God, I feel awful. And it can feel like a swing of energy, and it's like, when are we going to get stability here? So I woke up, my meditation this morning was thinking about stability and core stability for a lot of empaths and light workers working here at this time. And I was very much drawn to the womb and the sacral area, which is much misunderstood. We need to really consider what having a womb is and being a woman. This makes, incarnating into a female body in your lifetime is a very, very high level thing to do. Most people don't realise how complex it is to be in a female body, and a lot of my work has been around empowering women and loving and accepting their female selves, their female bodies, bringing in the goddess energy to help us all with this rise of feminine, which is coming to bring more compassion and love into our world. So here we are, born in a physical human body as a woman, and we have a womb. And most of us have no idea what that means, and we just walk around with our wombs and we don't really give them much thought. The only time they come up is if you want to get pregnant or there is a problem. So my whole history of 20 years in acupuncture has been, I didn't think it would start this way, but loads of women gravitated to me with women's issues around menstruation and cramping and not having menstruation, having too much menstruation, all sorts of issues around menstruation. And then it developed into fertility. So fertility is a big thing with acupuncture in the UK because of the studies done showing that your statistical success will rocket up if you have some acupuncture with it. So that usually turns people's heads, and because people are spending a lot of money to try and get pregnant, and they want to be successful, obviously. So this is where I'm coming from, but I'm also coming from this energetic hat and priestess of the goddess hat of how we love and look after our bodies. So when I woke up this morning, I was very drawn to come into the sacral center. So if anybody doesn't know where I'm talking about, it's basically below your belly button. And if you put your hand on that area, and your womb is actually quite low, to be honest, it's around your pubic hair region. If all around the area, if you put your hands on there and just feel, you can do it right now, feel if it's hot or cold, and you can get a sense of reconnecting in with that energy. You can also put it in your back, like put your hands on your back, like around, where your sacrum is, and just feel if it's hot or cold. And mine was really cold this morning. So this also brought my attention to, we need to do some work here. And what I find with womb clearing is there are a few things that people do not understand. One is, if you are a woman, your womb is your creative source. It is an amazing, amazing vessel. It is the life giver, the creatrix. We're not told this, but we have very special and unique power here, because we can bring energy into physical form. So, and that's what you do when you have creating a baby. But we can bring power through this center to create what we want in life. If you're looking at it from the chakra angle, it's your money, sex, magic. That's usually what it's called. It always reminds me of somehow something like rock and roll, like it's a really kind of cool rock and roll chakra, but I'm not sure it is. And it's a water chakra, so it's about flow. So we look at that in terms of flow of money, and a lot of people have poverty consciousness, and we're trying to clear those areas on earth at this time. So what are we going to find in your womb? Usually I will do a scanning process. So anyone that comes to me or myself, this is what I would do. If you put your hands on your womb and you just feel into that area, giving it warmth, feel a connection. If you feel completely disconnected, then don't worry. Just leave your hands there, and we'll try and work with that, because sometimes that happens to me, and it's just an ongoing process. So the womb is a vessel that holds energy. It is pretty much the only organ in the body, I'm trying to think of my Chinese medicine now, the only organ in the body which doesn't really excrete anything. It's very much a holding vessel. So it makes babies, but it does other things. It holds the seeds of your intent, things that you want to create in this earth plane. It's in a lower chakra, so we are closer into the physical dimension of creation and manifestation. So feel into that space, and if you can imagine a colour or something around it, see what it's feeding back to you. You might even get people's faces coming up. That's very, very common. So here we go, and this is what I had this morning. So we're going to just bring in, while you're sitting there, a very beautiful coral, very light coral, which is like orange, but it's much softer. You can bring in bright orange if you want to. We're going to ask for that colour just to come in through the energy system and move all in that area, as if we're opening up the womb area like a beautiful flower, a beautiful orange flower, or any colour you wish, but this orange will go through, helping and removing and clearing any energy that is finding itself clogged or lodged or in that space. Now, if you have faces coming up or people coming to mind and you can't understand why, then with people you may know, people you may not know, we're just going to ask for that to be cleared. So bringing in connection to your highest guides that work with you as a reincarnation in the female body for health and wellness and well-being. I'm going to ask that the goddesses come in to help at this stage, and I'm feeling Kuan Yin coming in as goddess of compassion, but also Isis, coming in to help with this removal of any cords or entanglements, and just beginning to see there can be a few here. Some are ancestral, which comes in your DNA and sometimes can sit in your womb space, and I'm just going to disconnect those from me. And if you're working with this, you can just ask your guides to help you disconnect. And you might find in there, sometimes people get ex-partners, people who love to stay there or that we have trouble letting go of. So let's clear them out. Let's do a beautiful clearing. We might need some white coming in here to help with this, because sometimes those patterns can be karmic and very entangled. So let's come in with the white light and bringing it through that area, cleansing, clearing, and just lifting out, detangling, disentangling those people. So moving it out of your space. There you go. Just breathing very clearly as we're doing that. That's good. I'm feeling that coming off the back of mine as well, which is great. And so, if you want to, you can just thank them for the lessons you have learned from them, and also, just have some grace in the fact that they might have helped you too, even if it may not have felt like it at the time. Even now, to become aware that maybe energy was sitting in your body that didn't need to be there. So another level that I'd like to do in this space, as that is clearing from us right now, we're going to come in and look, just have a little scan, have a look at that area in your mind, have a little feel in your body to see if anyone else is there, because sometimes we can get people who, energies, it doesn't even have to be alive people, entities that link into the sacral area. So they like to feed off this chakra. So we're going to clear any energy that is linking in to female empowerment, female power, that is not of the highest good. In fact, it shouldn't be there. The only person who should be linking into your energy of creative womb energy is yourself, or perhaps your children, but not if they've grown up. So there are different levels to this, and obviously, everyone is different, but I would say that if someone else is linking into that power center, it's time for them to go. So we're going to disconnect any cording that we can see that is connecting in there, and just let it lift out and be removed. Okay. So I just want you to breathe deeply in that center now. So breathing all the way down to your womb space. Just get a bit of movement in that space. That's good. Lovely. Okay. So just give yourself some time to sit peacefully and relax while that's happening. You can do this practice once a day if you want to. It's not very long. I would say set up the space with a candle and maybe smudging the area so you have a nice clear space for doing this, because you don't want to create more clutter. You want it to be nice and clear. And so see how you go over the next few days. This particular meditation is very good for empaths who, unfortunately, because they can feel a lot and they are very sensitive, can often collect things in the womb without realising. That can be very common. And so this is really just a daily practice, moving sort of daily energies, but also deeper energies that may have been there a much longer time. So thank your womb space, and regard this as a renewal of creating a new connection with this part of yourself. As we see the rise of feminine empowerment, the rise of the feminine in our societies and on the earth, we're also seeing that these powers that we have, these connections, these special qualities are really needed at this time, and for us to caretake ourselves and realise that how special and unique we all are. Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye now. Please link up with me on Facebook at Earth Mother Star Child, or my website earthmotherstarchild.co.uk, Twitter or Instagram. Thank you for listening, and if you liked it, please ask me any questions and I'll try and answer them. Okay, Namaste. Goodbye.